She's looking for like spring today.
Need that grass to dry out just a little bit more so I can start cutting.
Yeah.
I saw 70 weather forecast for next week. 5 or 6 more days ago, so we'll be behind us.
I think when I get through here, I'm going to go and see what Richard do. Well, I always do.
Churchill open. Yeah. This is those 24 hours a day. Yeah, got a lot of lights.
We can do a second place.
Oh, there.
Oh, okay. Sit down underneath.
I didn't know it was part.
The one for
There's another one that's on the county commission.
That is on this one.
Jeff's working out pretty good.
He and his wife
He's bragging on it like that.
cancer for years.
All right. Let's go ahead and get call the meeting to order. We appreciate everybody coming out today. We've got quite a number with us today, and I apologize if I miss anyone. We've got Ellen McMillan with Hawkins Leadership, and glad to have you with us. Woody Boyd, that's a local entrepreneur, and he's got an office upstairs, and I ran into him the other day, and I said, well, why don't you come down and join us for the industrial board meeting. Glenn Hudson, City Recorder, Don Hurst with the State of Tennessee's ECD, John Burdine with TCAT, Kenny Smith with the University of Tennessee's Economic Development Group, our Mayor, Melville, we've got our folks with the WIOA program, and we've got jbobo with the Times News, and we've got Sheriff Ronnie Lawson joining us today, and Michael with Networks. So I missed anybody. So we're glad to have all of you out here today, and we'll start to conduct the county's business.
Will you speak for just a moment?
Oh, yeah. A couple of days ago, I guess Tuesday, I went to a broadband conference that ECD put on. The governor came in and told us he's going to give us another $5 million for broadband. So that's $15 million for the state. I'm with Excel Now, which is the group in the First Tennessee Development District. I'm on the board. Our job is to try to foster entrepreneurship in the county area here. So it's all good news, and as we know, broadband is a big deal. And we got the co-op moving on that. You've done some stuff to get down into the industrial park. So the good news is there's going to be some money, and it's not just for the providers. It'll be for, we can get some money from the industrial park and schools and things like that. So it's going to be a big deal. He wants to hear it was an all-day deal. So I got the brochure and some stuff. And, it's good.
It is. Appreciate it, Woody.
And Nancy Barker slipped in
And
on us.
Nancy's Hawkins Chamber. So, did everyone receive a copy of the minutes of these previous meetings? Did I hear any motion to accept those as mail? Got a motion? I have a second. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, like sign? Hear none. Report of Secretary Treasurer.
Beginning balance on February 22nd, $15,322.79. We've had all of our normal deposits for a total of $1,381.64. Then we had our expenditures, just the copier lease, our normal expenses for the month. for a total of $944.78. Give us a balance of checking on March 22nd, $15,759.65. One CD at Civis Bank, $6,102.98, and no reimbursements due from RITA at this time.
Any questions of Rebecca on the finances?
Move to accept it.
Okay, got a motion. Who seconded it? Tommy? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved. I don't have any committee reports. I've got old business. We were informed that back several years ago we did a grant and received containers of foam to put out industrial fires and things of that nature. And we had them stored at the Phipps Bend Fire Station. And when they had a fire out at John Sevier back several years ago, they used them out there. And so we got those replaced. And I understand that we've got 11 barrels now up there of industrial foam.
Yes, I talked to Lynn Lawson yesterday to see if he could remember what grant and how many there were actually were, and he said the grant was in Ronnie Price's days, and he said to the best of my memory there was about 10 to 12 containers, and so we have 11 now. So he says I think yes, we're back to where we're at.
Good. And so that you know is a good thing to have on hand because their fires are different than what you normally deal with. So we've got those replaced, and appreciate Gary Merle's getting that done for us. And between them and the Church Hill Fire Department that operates the fire station up there, you know, we're much appreciative of their efforts. Does anybody know what the fire rating is? I was asked that question yesterday, and it's been a while since I've dealt with it.
I think I remember the fire rating was a 6.
I don't know. We'll have to get the 4 from Japan. Wanted to make sure we had a grand opening, and so I'm sure there'll be a ribbon cutting and everything. Probably a late spring or early summer when they get everything. They're still bringing in equipment. One of the things that I would mention to you all that I sometimes forget, the county and the city of Kingsport sponsor the Houston Business Development Center, which is a business incubator right across from Allendale Mansion, if you know where that's at. And part of the thing that does for us, we were able to utilize a suite or two for Miyake at no cost to us to keep, so they could go ahead and get cranked up and going, waiting on their building to be completed. My understanding is they basically have moved out of the HBDC now and are currently in their new building. So that's a good thing. Another thing that you may not realize, but they're adding jobs at Houston Ordnance, BAE, and they're using our center there to screen employees and training employees and things like that. So we're assisting them in hiring new people. So that's another benefit of the Houston Business Development Center. So you'll see that in your budget proposal today. Currently, I think there's $30,000 in the budget for running the Houston Business Development Center. So I would certainly recommend that we get these folks reappointed. We make the recommendation to the county commission, who then actually appoints them. Those two members are Kerry Jackson and Phil Barrett. So if I can get a motion, if you want them to reappointed, if not, somebody's going to have to go down there and try to figure out how to operate all these tractors and everything.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. I'm there many times and thanking people.
Is that what you want for? It's warming up, you know, the trees are growing, we won't have anybody cut trees, Carrie's not.
I know, that's, Carrie's in there, I think more than I am at Phipps Bend, and I'm up there quite a bit. But we've also got Terry that's housed there, and so we depend on these two to kind of keep an eye on everything, and it's about a full-time job. You want to talk about
Yeah,
these?
you don't even know what that is, do you?
No, I know. You go right ahead and tell them about that.
I received a phone call from Caleb Powell. He is from the Department of Environment and Conservation, and he had read about the solar farm up in Phipps Bend. And so each year the governor's environmental stewardship awards, different awards for different aspects of this. And so he wanted to nominate the industrial board for having this solar farm in Phipps Bend. So he nominated us for the Governor's Environmental Stewardship Award for Energy and Renewable Resources. So we may be receiving an award for that. He sent in the nomination for the governor for that. So I had to send him some information on it and everything. So
Okay, you mentioned that to me, but
Yeah.
like everything else, it kind of goes on. But you know, the group that we deal with, Bird's Eye Energy, there are looking at possibly another farm somewhere on in this area. So they are truly into environmental stewardship. I mean, even the plants that they put out up there were friendly to the birds and all kinds of wildlife. Even the fencing that they put around it was for the benefit of the wildlife. So it truly is a magnificent solar farm. Let's see, Sheriff.
Sir.
We've been working with the sheriff's department and possibly getting a satellite office up there, and you have.
Sure.
You put in a plug. You're running this year, so you need to.
Got to put a few things in it, and I think Nancy's gonna help with the grant, and I got free labor to take care of a lot of that stuff, so we'll make that work. And anything that I can do, you know, I'm willing to help this forward. And I appreciate the use of the firing range. We've come a long way with it, and we've got built up pretty nice, and we want to add to it maybe in the future. And because I'm all about training my people. That's what it's all about. And of course, you know, y'all are welcome to use that too. We just have to be careful and keep the bad guys out there. Because they'll still. They broke in one of my buildings up there not too long ago, but it wasn't nothing to take. But I'm gonna have to move maybe summer, send my trailer up there to put her target stuff like that. Because my people will do a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
You know, like I said in the meeting, everywhere else, you rely on your training, and I want my people to have top of the line training. So when it comes time, they'll rely on the good training instead of bad. So, but anyway, next few weeks, hopefully have that substation up and running, and help you all keep the complaints off you all, and we're there to help any way we can. So all of you know me, and if there's something I can do to help up there, just give me a call. We're willing to work with you, and I appreciate you.
Well, thank you, Sheriff, and we do appreciate the job that Sheriff Lawson has done, and there's a reason, you know, it's good when, you know, we have the different departments of county government that work together to promote goodwill and economic development for all the citizens of Hawkins County, and that's what this board's all about. Let me get an update from WIOA. Sherry?
Well, we're still
proceeding right along with our budget. So far this year, of our $348,000 budget, we have spent $227,000, and about $123,500 has went directly to.
Now, you mentioned 340 IOA, and when we get into our budget here in just a minute, you remember that figure because we've been accused of getting this huge budget for economic development, but the lion's share of it is federal money that comes through Hawkins County that benefits all the citizens of Hawkins County, but doesn't cost Hawkins County a red cent. And so when we get to talking about the budget, which I guess we just might as well get into it, we need to talk a little bit about the budget that's being proposed to send down to the budget committee of the county commission. As you know, this year we've had some difficulty because each year the budgets have been cut, and I understand where the commission is coming from when they say, you know, you need to pare back, and they've asked all the departments and the office holders to cut back on their budgets and things, and we have certainly done that on our part. But what it has happened, as you get activity and you need things done, then, you know, last year maybe you didn't have as much. This year, as you've heard me say before, 2017, and as you'll hear me say in 2018, I mean, these are some of the busiest years that we've had in the last 30 years. Those things cost money because you got to have engineering services done, you got legal expense, you got all kinds of things like that go along with recruiting an industry in, and utilization of Mattern and Craig and folks like that, and geo services. You got to do phase 1 environmental, sometimes a phase 2 environmental if they run into anything. Topo maps, surveys, all those things cost money. Well, if you're not doing any business, it doesn't cost you anything, but if you are, and so we have just basically run out of money this year. We were down there at the budget meeting Monday, moving money around, but basically we've got a tractor van right now. Don't have the money to fix it. It's mowing season. We've got to get some things done like that. We've got a mower that I guess they're going to pick up this week that's been fixed and getting ready for the mowing season. And I told her and Rebecca, pick it up and we'll figure out how to pay for it after we get it, because we can't let the park grow up. And as you know, if you in your own yards and things, you gotta deal with those things. But basically, we have increased the budget in those areas. Basically, I was going to point out engineering services. We're asking to increase from $3,250, which is the current budget, to $7,500. That does not cover a whole lot of engineering. Maintenance of the buildings and things. We're trying to get water. We don't have water down to our maintenance building at Phippsby, and so we've added an additional $500 there to get water down there. We had $1,500 in the current budget for maintenance and repair services of equipment. We're putting in $5,000. The tractor that we've got down, they said could cost up to $4,500 to $5,000 just to repair the one tractor. So we put in enough to cover that. Coming on electricity, one of the things that we've looked at over the last few years, really, and one of the things that was brought up at the Phippsby meeting of the industries is they would like to have streetlights run on out to the four-way stop. And Host Electric gave us a price of that for an additional $345 a month. So we upped the budget about $4,000 to cover the addition of that street lighting. That is a safety factor. It goes along with everything that we're doing. I guess, you know, I had one comment that said, well, let the industries pay for it. Well, the industries are paying for it. They're paying for it in their tax dollars. We left gasoline, you know, we don't have any vehicles or anything, so the gasoline goes just simply to cover all the mowing equipment, things that we've got there. At-Fip's been in the park. Tires and tubes, we put in $1,000. One of those big tractor tires runs around $650 to $700. If you have one tire blow out, your budget's gone. So we left that in there. Other materials and supplies, we increased it from $1,500 to $3,000 because we have. Well, we talked about the ballast and things that we needed to purchase, herbicide, pesticides, and things like that.
Small tools.
Anyway, the only we've put in we've not bought a tractor or anything now in 2 or 3 years. We put in $1,500 to buy a new mower and some blowers and weed eating type things like that. But other than that, that's it. The only other item that I would ask you to consider, back a couple of years ago, we went before the personnel committee and got the position of industrial development coordinator elevated one level, and if it's the wishes of this board, I would like to do that again and increase it. This job certainly demands a tremendous amount of effort on Rebecca's part. She has gone through all of the training. She's got her certification now. Everything is complete. What's your tell them what that certification is through the state of Tennessee.
Yes, I'm a Tennessee economic developer.
She is a full-fledged Tennessee economic developer, and so we would like to see if we can get that increased, if that's the wishes of the board.
If you need a motion,
I'll make it. Yeah. All right. I appreciate that, and like I say, we'll get that together and get it to them and just see what it says. With those increases that I mentioned, out of a $357,000 current budget, we think that this is going to increase to what, about 40,000?
175. It's up to 175 now.
For of what we get out of the total budget.
Yeah.
Remember that the numbers that you see and what they vote on down there include the WIOA, the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, that
which is nearly twice what,
about double what we get, but we don't have to put anything in it. And I get tired of this. Have said, well, you all get almost $500,000, and so basically what we get is some equipment and some gasoline and tires and things to do the mowing up there that somebody's going to do whether you got an industrial board or not. We get Rebecca, and we get Networks, which is certainly paying dividends for us right now. So
you could cut your salary considerably.
well, I took a salary cut last year, and I'm willing to take another one this year. I do spend more time at this than I ever thought I ever would, but I'm certainly, it's pleasing, especially when you have good things to report, and we're gonna get to that just in a minute. But it's certainly worth the effort that you all put in each and every day as we go about doing our jobs of trying to bring jobs and prosperity to the citizens of Hawkins County. So I think they really get their dime's worth out of the $100 and some thousand that we actually spend in a year's time. So, do I have a motion then to approve the budget, including the recommendation by Tommy that we seek a step or a grade? I don't know what they call that, to tell you the truth. A position upgrade for our only employee.
Yes.
Yes. So I've got a motion, I've got a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, that's the budget we will send down to the county commission. The other thing, before I turn this over to networks, we do have an announcement that's going to be coming out in the month of April.
That has been confirmed.
That has been confirmed, and we will notify you as board members when that day will come. And you know, we really don't want to steal any thunder, Jeff, from anybody on this thing, but this is the last time this board will meet. But I think you'll be real excited, and so look forward to April. We'll get the word out to everybody. We'll contact Jeff and have the news media rolling, and we're real excited. We're also working on another project or two that's very promising. So a lot of good things going on in Hawkins County. And we appreciate the effort. We appreciate the support that we get from all of you all in this room. It takes everybody doing that. So.
Harry, we appreciate you. It's turned almost into a full-time job.
It really has.
And we appreciate all you put into it.
I appreciate that. That's I'm glad to do it, and glad that I have good health and everything to be able to do it, because it does take a lot of time and effort. And
I just want to make mention, when the state of Tennessee gives these grants to these industries, it doesn't stop there. All of that has to funnel through the industrial board. So all that paperwork and everything has to come through here. We have to, the companies send us the receipts, the invoices. I have to send that to the state sends me the money. I have to give the money to them. So all that's funneled through here. It doesn't stop at the state and the company level.
So they don't ship them a box of cash.
No, no.
well, anytime we meet with the industries, and like I say, this goes on for months on end sometimes, and the state offers so much, and TVA offers so much, and the county, we do a pilot or whatever with them. But at the end, there has to be an accounting for all of that. And so when they say, well, we're going to hire 50 new people, there's the verification that goes along with that. And then next year you come right back and you got to verify all that stuff again. And whatever they say they're going to give them, you have to contact the industries and get the paperwork completed back to you. Then you send it to the state. Then the state says, okay, everything, they check everything off. They write a check to us. Then we got to write a check to the industry. So, I mean, it's tremendous, and we have had a ton of those last year. I mean, if you look at all of the company expansions and things that have gone on, just the verification work on this has been tremendous, and we're about to work one of us to death, and so it ain't me. All I got to do is come in and sign it. When the paperwork is finished, she'll call and say, "You come down and sign this," and so I signed it. So anyway, we've got good reports, and Michael, what have you all got going? Among a lot of things I know.
Sure, thanks, Larry. We have a lot going on in networks, obviously. We stay pretty busy throughout the day. Clay just returned from Site Selectors Guild Conference in Cincinnati. That's the premier, pretty much, consulting conference that's held every year. It's a consortium of consultants that pretty much got together themselves to create their own organization there. So we target those group of consultants very heavily. Those are the representatives for the companies that pretty much ultimately bring the projects to us. So in conjunction with that, we're gearing up for the Red Carpet Tour. That's the annual inbound marketing event we do with the night race during August. So like I said, we're just now starting to gear up for that. We'll be sending out the invitations here in the next probably 3 to 4 weeks or so, and we expect a good return rate on that, like in years past. Excuse me. As Larry and Rebecca mentioned, we're working several existing industry projects with assisting Rebecca on that. She's certainly carrying the lion's share of the work on that regard. She is doing a great job for y'all. I cannot stress that enough. She's a great asset for y'all. So as I mentioned, activity levels seems to remain high. We got some great things in the pipeline. I'm sure you'll be very excited with the announcement coming up in April. So until then, just cross your fingers, hope everything works out.
That's a good report. Like I said, we've got some good things going on out there, and hopefully we can report back to you in the next few months as these things. It takes a lot of time. When you're going to make a commitment to a community of several $1 million and everything, and it just it wires you out. When you finally get everybody to agree, then comes the legal work. You got all the lawyers, and I talked to one 3 times yesterday, and in the meantime, she's talking to her.
Get a bill for each of those phone calls.
Yeah,
Probably.
Because you got to work out all the purchase agreements and all of the what everybody is offering. All that's got to be written down and gone over, and especially if you're dealing with foreign companies, that really brings on a new dialogue, because their interpretation of things are not always the same. It's amazing. They speak very, very good English, but then their interpretation of what they hear is not always the same. And so a lot of times you have to go back and get it all squared away, and like I say, so we've got a lot going on, but it's all good right now. So,
one thing I didn't mention is next week we are excited. We'll be taking a trip with several Hawkins County industries as well to Oak Ridge National Lab to kind of tour the facilities there and see what that facility can offer local companies around here as they look to expand their operations. So we're very excited about that, and that should be a great trip.
I'll be going on that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I turned that one down. I'm not to see it, but I didn't. This is spring break week, and
Just go ahead and say it. Your babysitting, just go ahead and say it.
well, that's exactly what it turns into. So, actually, they're going out of town. They're going to Florida, so Pam and I decided we might go on a trip, and so we were calling yesterday, looking at airline tickets, and I don't know, you all may have not heard, but the former county mayor, Doug Price, is my brother-in-law, and Doug had a tremendous wreck, and he's in intensive care now at Holston Valley, so you all be much in prayer for him. He only has one granddaughter, and so it's been we spent all yesterday evening up there after we found out about this. And so that kind of canceled our plans for next week if we were going to go somewhere. So anyway, I just hope and pray that Doug will be all right. He was a good county mayor and did a good job for Hawkins County for a lot of years. So, anybody else have anything for the good Hawkins County? Like I say, we'll get back to you as soon as we get a verified date on this thing. I'll call Jeff and tell him to get the cameras rolling. So, nothing else. We stand adjourned.
Where's
Somebody's got to do his job.
Otis
we
is,
put one in down here.
You got one there?
We got one down
Okay.
here. We've already rehearsed it.
Okay.
Otis is at the doctor's. He had a stent put in his heart, or wherever they put him. In his heart.
In Otis's case, I can tell you.
But he's gone back to Dr. Brazee down in Knoxville today, so we